our lives, and definitely throughout the holiday season. So before I introduce myself and start sharing the self-care tools, I'd like to hear from you or read from you. What self-care tools do you find helpful during this time of the year? For some of us, our self-care techniques, tools change throughout the year depending on the seasons, what's available outdoors, depending on how busy our schedules are. So I'm very curious to learn, to read, if you can put into the chat, what is it that you bring closer, that you call on, that you go to for self-care, healthy methods that help you? Do you take walks in nature? Do you take more naps, or take naps? Maybe not more, take naps. Do you use journaling? Do you listen to calm music? I think someone has their mic on. Lisa, if you can, thank you. And yeah, what is it that you find helpful? Yeah, massage. Yes, maybe acupressure or acupuncture. Yes. Yeah. For me, I love listening to the sound of water. So either walks to a nearby creek. I love Sligo Creek Parkway in Silver Spring, or turning on YouTube and just water sounds, looking for a track for water sounds. Yeah, water, breathing, meditation. The beach, the sand, the water. I'm reading from the chats. Yes. Yeah.
When I sleep at night, I turn on the video with the black screen and like the rain on the roof. Or last night I played the rain on the roof with a little thunder and piano music in the background, and like I read somewhere about doing it, and because like I have to have something on or I can't sleep, and
Yes.
I read about doing that, and now that I started doing it, and just kind of in your mind, like to count back, like from 100 or whatever. And I, if I'm lucky, I don't remember getting past like 50, but it's, and I sleep good. But other thing I found out, my animals who, it's their bed, they just leave me a space in it. They sleep better at night. Like they don't get up, they don't like there's random outside trips at night or whatever. So it not only helps me sleep and kind of get to sleep better, it actually helps them.
Yes.
Which I thought was interesting,
Yes.
But the sounds are definitely, like I get stressed in the car and I've learned to change the music like to something a little different than maybe what's on.
Yeah. And that's
it might be
because
good music to listen to, but not good music like for
right, exactly. And that's because our nervous system is really tuned into the sounds that we hear, and it's impacted by the sounds. So different sounds activate different aspects of our nervous system. So it sounds to me like you're very intuitively finding the sounds that are bringing the calm in. And what you describe is this beautiful relationship that we have with all of nature, including pets. And other beings, other people, where when our nervous systems calm, we support others to and their nervous systems to calm, and it's a co-regulation effect. So so when we feel well, when we feel like we've brought in the self-care and we feel better, the next person we meet, we share something calmer in ourselves with them, and they feel a little bit calmer, and then they go home or go to work and meet someone and share that. And it's the same thing with our pets. Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that in. And I saw in the chat someone else shared about sounds. Yeah, sounds, calming sounds for sleep. So yeah, we'll be talking today about techniques for sleeping better at night, for treating or restoring from fatigue. So welcome again, everyone. And if you just joined, this is our Self-Care Friday session. As Lisa said, my name is Shira Osinai. And I'm an acupressurist, so not acupuncture. I don't use needles, just very gentle pressure with my fingertips. And I'm also a meditation facilitator, and I'm based, as I said, in Silver Spring, Maryland. My work revolves around supporting others in developing self-care, a personalized set of self-care techniques, resources, so that you could feel more like yourself, free of old patterns that no longer serve you, better rested. That's our focus today. And empowered to do what you love, which whether you're running your own business or you're retired or you're an employee, we all want deep in our hearts to do what it is that we love. So currently I work mostly with people one-on-one and online or in person. And I work specifically on recalibrating the nervous system towards calm and connected and safe, healing from and integrating past wounds or traumas, both to the body, the mind, the heart, and bringing to light family dynamics that hold the key to our happiness, to our sense of belonging and love, and our passion and direction in life. So that's much of the work that I do these days. And it's all based on both cutting edge science and ancient techniques that with science these days, they're finding more and more and more information that that really matches what the ancient techniques that have been shared around the world have always been focused on. So today we're going to touch into those techniques, and touch is what we're going to be using. We're going to touch on acupressure points. And so I invite you to take a moment to, with your eyes open or eyes closed, to just feel how you're feeling right now. Tuning into your body and your breath. And if your mic is on, if you can unmute, I think it, or mute, I think it can help the sound to come through better. And of course, if you have any questions throughout this, you can drop them in the chat. So taking an inventory this morning to see how you're doing and the level of fatigue that you might be experiencing. Sometimes we're on the go and we don't stop to realize, oh, I'm actually really tired today. I've been dragging this week, or I'm really ready for this weekend or time off. And then if there were a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most at ease, 10 levels of ease, and 0 or 1 being least at ease, what number correlates with your experience now? Are you at a 5, at a 3, at an 8? And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes if they were closed, and putting that number in the chat if you'd like to share, so that we can check in at the beginning and check in at the end to see what number came up for you. So our sequence today, the self-care tools that I'll share, are for those times when you feel fatigued, run down, like you need to keep going, but you don't have any energy left. Like there's just 3 more tasks to do, and you feel like I'm running on empty, I'm on fumes. I don't know what to do. When, you know, just looking at your emails feels like I can't even. When you're just ready to get to that time off, to that time for relaxation. Maybe you want to get more involved with holiday planning and merrymaking, and there's just so much going on, or just, this kind of, oh, my energy ran out. I don't know where it is. Yeah, so our sequence is for that today. Yeah, thank you all for sharing your numbers. I'm taking a look. Yes. Yes. Yeah, you're in the right place. So I'll guide you through the sequence of points to hold on yourself, and invite you to give your breathing some attention. You can start now. Acupressure points, you may have heard this before. I always give the same introduction. Acupressure points are like windows to your energy. They're located all over the surface of your skin, all over the body. They're safe to use for everyone, and they help us recalibrate body, mind, and heart toward balance. Please be mindful of your body as we go through the sequence and how you feel. If I invite you to hold a point that's outside of your reach, you can simply hold it in your mind's eye, giving breath and attention to that area. There's no need to extend yourself over that place of comfort or what feels okay for you in your body. And if you feel like you're getting distracted or overwhelmed, or if you're feeling like this is really, really good, again, give it your breath. Come back to your breath, feel your breath fully, maybe take a deeper breath in, a longer breath out, to be with that experience. If you're feeling any sense of pain when you're holding onto acupressure points, please stop. The points do not create or cause pain, but sometimes we have injuries, and I might be guiding you to a point where there's already an injury. So we want to stay away from pain. This is not one of those practices where more pain gives you any more gain. My motto is more pain, no pain, no pain, right? So if there's pain, stop, back off the point, maybe use a little less pressure or remove the pressure altogether. And I always like to say, notice your favorite point. That might be your take-home point. And after we're done with the sequence, I'll share some more follow-up resources for treating fatigue. That's it. We're ready. We're ready to bring in that self-care. So if you'd like to start with a leg stretch, you can stretch out your legs in front of you. You can also curve your torso over your thighs, meaning folding forward over your legs, if that's accessible for you in your body. Essentially, all we're doing is bringing a stretch, some kind of stretch to the body. You can also stand and fold forward with a gentle bend in your knees, like maybe you practice yoga and you're familiar with this forward fold pose. We're not going for a yoga practice right now. We're simply going for some sort of stretch to the body. When you've completed it, come back to your seat. Maybe you're stretching your arms, your legs in front of you. Lots of ways to bring in this stretch. This leg stretch, in whatever form you're doing it, it opens the sequence. We're stretching the back, we're bringing attention to the spinal cord, and we're beginning to treat the nervous system. Next, we're going to go to points back behind the rib cage. So making your hands into gentle fists and placing them back behind the bottom of the rib cage on both sides of the spine. And then you can lean back if you have a backrest. If you don't have a backrest, turn your hands around so that your fingers are making contact with your back and you're pressing in with your fingers, with your fingertips. We often start with these points. These points enhance vitality. They support digestion, the spleen, the stomach, and kidney function. They do so much. And they also induce a strong relaxation response. And any one single one of these points, even though we're doing a sequence together here today, you can do a single point throughout the day. So if you find throughout the sequence, oh, I really love this one point, it really feels like it has, it gives me support, you can come back to it as a single point throughout the day. And let's tune into our breath, breathing in through the nose, if possible, and out through a slightly open mouth. Maybe with a sound or a sigh. Let's do 2 more breaths here. If your hands get tired, you can release sooner. Good. Next, we're going to move to points that I'll cue you to verbally. It's a bit hard to show on the camera. We're going to go back behind the knees. So curving your fingers, fingertips, back behind the knees to the center of the crease at the back of the knees. So I'm leaning my chest, my torso forward closer to my legs so that my arms can reach back behind the knees. These are lovely, lovely points for fatigue. They release congested energy, congestion, any kind of congestion in the back of the body, the back of the head, the back of the neck, the whole back, especially any low back pain, any low back tension in the backs of the thighs, the hips, the hamstrings. It reduces fear and helps us to get grounded, to get stable, to get a sense of, oh yeah, I know where I am and I know what I need to do and I can do it. I've got resources, I've got support, I can do this. So all along the sequence, you want to be coming back to your breath, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Yes. Yeah. Good. Let's take one more breath together here. You can go ahead and release. You can stay exactly as you are if you're seated. I will stand up to show you the next point, but you can reach it while sitting. The point is on the ankle, the inner ankle, right underneath the inner ankle bone. And I'll give you options as to how to reach it. So inner ankle bone is right here where I'm pointing, and I go right below it. There's a little nook there, a little groove, about 1/2 inch below that inner ankle bone. So I'm not on the outside of the foot, I'm on the inside of the foot. How do we reach it? You can do a figure 4 of bringing your one leg, it could be the right leg, over your left. And then the ankle is a bit closer, and you can press in with your thumb, with your finger. If you're sitting on the ground, you can do a diamond shape with your legs if it's within reach, and holding these points. So let's do one foot at a time, one ankle at a time. And again, if these points are out of your reach, maybe you're at work, maybe your desk doesn't allow it, maybe your pants are real tight, maybe it's a stretch that's too much for your back, your body today, then simply go to that point in your imagination. It begins to move the energy through. It sounds maybe a little bit out there, but it does work. These are master points for fatigue. So if you need to take away one single point from our practice today, take this one. This point nourishes the kidneys that get very depleted when we're tired and keep having to do stuff to push through. It benefits the throat. Even though we're holding at the feet, it benefits the throat, any swelling, dryness, redness, pain. Like I said, these are master points for insomnia. So they support better sleep at night. They benefit any, they alleviate any eye disorders, anything to do with the eyes, sadness, again, fear or fright, especially when it comes with nightmares. So if you have any kids who have nightmares, you can hold these points on them very gently. It's very, very helpful. And also for ankle pain and ankle soreness, so much in these points. Good. Let's do the other foot. So in whatever way works for you in your body, in your wherever you are, your workstation. Same thing, other foot, about half an inch below your inner ankle bone, you'll find a little groove. You can sink into that groove. It might be tender. If it is, press lightly. Good. Yeah. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you hold, notice any sensations in the body. Just taking note and not looking for the good or looking to eliminate the bad. We're simply noticing what's happening, staying with sensations in the body. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and release the foot. And if it feels really, really good, you can either stay with it as I'll continue on with the next point, or make sure to come back to it today. These are great points to hold before you go to sleep for a breath or 2 or 3 breaths to help sleep even better, deeper, get that nourishing aspect of sleep. Because sometimes we're so tense that or stressed that we're sleeping, but we're not really getting to that nourishing part of the sleep. We're not feeling refueled by it. So these points are very, very helpful for that. Let's come up to the shoulders now. You can hold both shoulders at the same time with same hand, same shoulder, right hand, right shoulder, left hand, left shoulder, or cross. See what works for you. Yeah, maybe you need to do one shoulder at a time. That works too. These points here at the tops of the shoulders, they soothe muscle and joint pain. They ease mental confusion, frustration, anger. They help in decision making. And they're called excess baggage. And often I don't need to say much more than that. They help us release those responsibilities that we carry on us that don't belong to us, that don't have anything to do with us, that we picked up somewhere, somehow. So these points really help us release that imaginary backpack full of extra stuff. You can even imagine yourself playfully just taking off that backpack that's not yours and like, don't have it anymore. Yeah. Yeah. If you're doing one shoulder at a time, go ahead and switch to the other one. Breathing. Good. Let's do a few more points in this sequence. Moving now again, if your body allows, bringing your hands back behind your head. We're going to stretch our fingertips towards the bottom of the neck, or as far back, as far down on the back that you can go. Maybe you're down at the upper back. And your fingers, you're going to place a very firm but gentle pressure into your back and begin to pull your hands up And so your fingers act like two gentle rakes up the back of your head, back of the neck, moving all the way up to the crown of your head. Slowly, slowly to the crown of your head, and then release. This usually feels really good, and everybody wants to do more than one. So let's go for it. Fingertips at the back of the neck, maintaining firm but gentle pressure all the way up. You can't see, but I'm just doing this with my fingers all the way through, giving yourself a new hairdo. And release, and then we're going to sweep across the brow 2 or 3 times. Fingertips meet at the middle and move to the sides. This releases tension in the neck and head, connects you with your inner wisdom, relieves headaches, mental agitation, and is very, very calming. Good. Next, we're going to bring one hand, let's start with the right side. Right below the collarbone. You can do it on top of clothing, and I'm just going to show you. We're going right below the collarbone. You can press with a few fingers or just one. And your other hand is going to hold, let's see how, actually let's switch. Left hand is going to hold onto the right collarbone, right underneath the right collarbone. Good, because that frees our right hand. You're just going to place it flat right under where a belt would go. So the top of the buttocks. Yeah. So this point underneath the collarbone, it redirects the stomach fluids down the way that they're supposed to go. It unbinds tension in the chest and supports clarity between the mind and the heart. So when we have things we want to do and the mind has things it wants to think, this helps us find that middle point. It's grounding and stabilizing. So that fight between the mind and the heart isn't so strong. There's more harmony. Good. Let's find the same points on the other side. So right hand comes to the left side, left collarbone, right underneath it. And left hand goes right under where a belt would be, right underneath the sacrum, that triangular bone on the left side. The point that we're holding on the back, it eases lower back pain. It strengthens the low back. It helps with sciatica. This is one of the go-to points for sciatica. And it supports with the movement of fluids in the body. So oftentimes fatigue gets worse, or maybe sometimes even starts from dehydration and from stagnant fluids in the body. So a glass of water goes a long, long way when we're tired. And sometimes we just don't think about it because we're so tired, or we're just busy doing stuff. So drinking water and holding these points on the back right below where a belt would be are very, very helpful in rehydrating the whole body and in easing low back pain. Sometimes we experience low back pain. We may think it's from sitting or how we're working. Sometimes it's from fatigue, from just having so much to do and having to push through all the time. Good. I'm going to show you one more magic point. So let's go ahead and release this. I'll stand up. You can stay seated. This point is on the shin, below the knee. Let me show you. So it's towards the outside of the shin, below the knee. And you might feel a little nook as you press into the bone there. And I'm about 2 inches down from the knee. And feel for it. You may feel a little tender spot or a spot that's like, oh, yeah, right there. And you can hold both shins at the same time. If you're seated, you're going to have to, again, curve forward to reach those points. And these are magic points. So these points are called leg 3 mile. They're these points where you feel like, oh, I've walked so many miles, you know, both physically or metaphorically, with your work, with life, and there's just this much left to the finish line, to get to the finish line. There's just like, oh, it's that day before the vacation, or that I'm almost at the deadline. Like, if I could just get one more drop of energy. These are the points to hold. They give you 3 more miles when you feel like you have nothing left. They support the stomach and the spleen, alleviate nausea, alleviate heaviness in the limbs, dizziness. They're very calming. They clear worry, chest pains, pain in the lower legs, and frankly, so much more. But I think those are the highlights. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And when you're ready, you can release. Let's hold our closing 2 points. So one hand goes to the tailbone, one hand on the top of the crown, top of the head. We're enhancing the vitality and flexibility of the lumbar spine, relieving headaches, dizziness, hypertension, agitation, supporting the nervous system, and integrating the sequence of points that we've just used for restoring from fatigue, specifically holiday time fatigue today. Great. Releasing these 2 points, let's close the same way we started, with a stretch. So find a stretch that feels good to you. Maybe stretching your legs out in front of you, maybe curving over, folding over with your torso, folding over your legs. Maybe standing and stretching your arms up towards the ceiling. When you're ready, coming back, taking a seat, and checking in with your body again. Again, on that scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most at ease, 1 being least at ease. What number correlates with your experience now? And if you choose to share it in the chat, please share from what number to what number. That's helpful to see it together. Yeah. Start at where and when to where. Sometimes our numbers go up, sometimes our numbers go down. Both are welcome here. Sometimes the numbers go down, and when I talk to people about their experience, they'll tell me that the self-care technique helped them get more tuned into what they were already feeling. So they're noticing that there's less ease. And it's not that the sequence created less ease, but that they're now more aware, and that awareness leads to making choices. Oh, I'm going to get some more water today, or I'm going to find 5 minutes to just look out the window and just take a breath, or step outside of the office and walk around the building. All these different things that we can do in a moment or two that really help us take good care of ourselves. So that's our sequence for today. Lisa, if you can give me permission to share the screen, I'll share the end screen.
I'm sorry, I meant to do that at the beginning.
It's okay. I forgot to check in with you about that. And I'll, in the meantime, looking at people's numbers. Yeah. Yeah.
You said 10 being most at ease.
Yes. 10 most at
And 1
ease.
being least. Okay. I was just making sure I did it right there.
Yeah, and if people want to share in a couple moments, we'll have time for Q&A. If people want to share what their number feels like, what the experience felt like, we can learn some more about it. For now, I have a few ideas if you'd like to continue figuring out collecting a personalized self-care set of techniques for yourself. I invite you to book a free call with me to learn about my one-on-one sessions. There's a link there for a strategy session. Another action, I have a sheet that I've created with the 2 key acupressure points for holiday fatigue. So if you were here, you did the sequence, you want to follow up, you can go ahead to that link and I'll send you an email with the sheet with the points so you can remember them and keep following up this holiday season. I also have a webinar available online for purchase with a sequence specific for stress relief that you could give as a gift to yourself this holiday or gift it to someone else. It's set up in a way where you could simply put in the info and have the gift sent to someone else. So that's available now with a holiday discount. That's not going to last much longer. So I invite you to check that out and give yourself or a loved one this gift of lifelong stress relief. Doesn't that sound good? That's it for my sharing, and just an invitation for to join us again second Friday of the month in January, and as well as February. And then I look forward to seeing you. So we'll just open the space for any sharing, and while you do so, I'll put the same info in the chat, the same info as the slide, so you can click on it right away if you want to.
And does anybody have any questions? You can just unmute yourself if you like. Eileen said, thank you so much. This works wonderful.
Lovely. It's one way to head into the holidays next week, huh?
Yes, I love it. I always feel better. You know, it was funny because I noticed on my right side, the points that I touched seemed to be working more. It was weird. I could actually feel my sinuses start draining when I touched. Yeah, behind. I'm trying to remember which one it was that I touched. I think it was weird. I think it was behind my knee.
Yes.
And that's where you said, I think you said congestion was. And
Yes.
I'm like, oh my goodness, as soon as I
I
touched
felt
it,
it like just
I could feel it going down my back of my food. I was like, that worked fast.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and I saw you were doing this, Lisa, on your face, the sinuses also. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
well, I suffer from chronic back pain and I have issues in my back, my hip, and like this morning, just it hurting so bad and just tired from that, like you said, like sleeping but not sleeping. And I'm just amazed at the difference I feel just over that period of time. Like literally the 2 places that were hurting a lot when I was sitting here and we started, that literally it's just a dull, like it really is amazing. Like Lisa, my sinuses, when I was sitting, I felt like my head went, but and I just feel more awake, like not. I honestly, like when I got here, I felt like I could have laid right down here and gone to sleep.
Yes.
But it just, I mean, it's not just that, it's like lifting that tiredness from your body. There, this one has been like one of the best ones for me, with the back pain and things like that. Because they give
Yeah.
you kind of crazy stuff to do, you know. They tell you these exercises and things, and I think in the long term sometimes they help, but short term, you feel worse almost. And like this is something that like I felt better after it, and literally Lisa knows my lower back and my hip. I mean, it's so bad some days. It just, and just the difference in the past 15 minutes is really amazing. I haven't had anything work like that, and I've been to all kinds of do this, do that, you know, and like it's so simple. But yeah, the sinuses was a bonus. So I was like, pushing my back on my legs, and I was like, I can breathe. But you feel
Wow.
it open up. Um,
Yeah, that's
I think we did one
amazing.
before, because I get the headaches, and I was listening in that day and doing it, and I forgot where those were. I knew they were, and that helped sinuses too. They were like here and like the in
Here
here,
too. Yeah.
and but I mean, you could just the push it like you just started to feel it open up. So it's
Yeah.
really
I could really feel the one too, shear out on the ankle. I could really, especially like on my right ankle, I'm like, oh, I could feel this, what's this
mhm.
doing? This is doing
Mhm.
something. I could feel
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
My
Yeah,
sister, you were talking about giving the gift. My sister is really been going through this whole back thing and had things done. None of it's worked. Some of it's made it worse. And you know, she doesn't have a whole lot of extra time for things. And like, just I mean, it would be. I think it would be great to see if it would work for her. You know, because she kind of deals with the same type things.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of the points that we use today are in that webinar.
Mhm.
So I would definitely recommend that for what you're
Yeah.
describing, the fatigue, the stress. And also, the webinar has two 30-minute videos to teach you the sequence, and then other little short videos to keep practicing, because I think, you
Right.
know, if we find something that's helpful, we want to be able to keep practicing it with ease, you know,
Right.
in our day-to-day lives. And also, I offer, for those who take the webinar, I offer a free group practice once a month. So once you purchase the webinar, you also get to like join me once a month, ask questions, you know, go through the sequence together with other people who've learned it. And then, you know, there's group forms and everybody shares, and it's very lovely. So there's a lot more tools there. And I love what you said about it's simple. It's simple. You know, it's just us
Great gift to
with our
yourself.
hand, you know. Yeah, yeah. And it's impactful. I think that often you know, we don't realize just how much we can change, or we can support ourselves with the simple things, you know. We'll go to all those big things. Oh, I need to change my whole routine. I need to change, you know, and that in itself can be so overwhelming that we feel more fatigue,
Yeah.
because it's just like, how am I gonna I'm gonna manage to do another hour of exercise every day, or, you know,
That
and those things,
backpack analogy that you
right?
use is
Exactly,
that's dead on, you know, literally
exactly.
feeling like it's like strapped here and you feel it right here.
Yeah.
And there's two knots. And the one when I was touching the one on my neck and you said that, it was like what that is, it's like carrying that, just hauling it around, you know,
That's
and
right.
that feeling of releasing it. But I mean, like this is something you don't have to figure out how you're gonna schedule it and go somewhere that you're not comfortable,
Exactly,
or figure out a time that works in your schedule. And you know, it's
exactly.
that's one thing that makes it even less stressful, you know, to
Right.
just know that you can do it kind of wherever, whenever.
Yes. Yes. Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
You said it
Really glad
better
I
than
did
I
this
can.
one this morning.
What was that?
I said, I'm really glad I did this one this morning. And,
Yes, yes. Me
yeah.
too. Me
Yes,
too.
me too. Thank you so much, Shira.
Sure.
Colleen or Kenya, do
Yes,
you have any questions?
No, thank you so much, Shira. I really appreciate it. I look forward to
That's
connecting with you.
awesome.
My pleasure.
Kira, I'm doing a spotlight on you for our speakers in the January newsletter for the new year. So I'll shoot you my email, and if there's something you want me to add in, or something that you want people to be able to click on and try, or to kind of get to know more about you, do that, and we'll start the new year off on a self-care note.
Great.
Awesome. That's a great idea. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, ladies, and hopefully you can join us again in January. So just keep checking our website, plus you'll see things coming out about it. And thank you again, Shira. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday.
Thank you. You guys also. Nice
And
seeing
if
you.
you have any special requests for future sessions, future themes, please send them along. I think I put my email address there, or you can, send them through Lisa, or however you want. I'd love to hear what else might be useful to you.
Okay, great.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ladies.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Happy holidays. Be well. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.